For decades, Pakistan has insisted that the people of Pakistan occupied Kashmir stand firmly behind Islamabad. It has projected POK as a region that willingly embraces the Pakistani rule, a territory whose political future is settled. But now something extraordinary is happening, something Pakistan never expected to hear. A voice from inside Pakistan occupied Kashmir is no longer demanding reforms. It is no longer asking Islamabad to listen. It is now looking across the line of control and asking India to help. That single appeal may be one of the most politically significant moments to emerge from POK in years. We need India's help. These words were spoken by Sardar Aman Khan, one of the most prominent leaders of the Joint Awami Action Committee, or the JAC, the organization that has become the face of the growing anti government protests inside Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Standing before thousands of supporters in Rawalkot, Khan did something almost unimaginable in Pakistan's political landscape. He publicly appealed to New Delhi to provide humanitarian assistance. He urged India to open the line of control. He argued that civilians trapped inside, yes, trapped inside POK should be given the choice to cross into India if conditions continue to deteriorate. Now, viewers, this wasn't merely a political statement, it was a cry for survival. According to Khan, Pakistan's ongoing crackdown has pushed the region into a humanitarian emergency. He claims food supplies are running short, medicines are becoming increasingly difficult to find, families are struggling to secure basic necessities. He alleges that Islamabad has effectively imposed an economic blockade on the region while simultaneously launching a sweeping security operation against protesters. Whether every element of these claims can be independently verified is difficult. But what cannot be ignored is the desperation behind the appeal. Because movements usually ask their own governments for help. This one is asking the country Pakistan calls its biggest enemy. And that just changes everything. The unrest in POK has been building for weeks. What initially began as demonstration over inflation, electricity prices, governance, and economic hardship has now steadily transformed into something much larger and far more dangerous for Islamabad. Today, many protesters are no longer limiting themselves to economic standards. Instead, they are openly challenging Pakistan's political control over the territory. Videos from massive rallies at Rawalkot Eidgah ground show protesters chanting slogans that would have been almost unthinkable until recently. POK is not a part of Pakistan. We want freedom. These are no longer isolated voices on social media. They are being shouted by thousands who are gathered in public squares. For Islamabad, that represents not merely a law and order challenge. It strikes directly at the political narrative Pakistan has promoted for decades. Because if people living inside Pakistan occupied Kashmir themselves begin questioning Islamabad's authority, it kind of becomes increasingly difficult to maintain the claim that Pakistan governs the region with popular consent. Pakistan's response has been swift and uncompromising. The Joint Awami Action Committee has also been outlawed. Authorities have designated it a terrorist organization. Security forces have carried out widespread operations across the entire region. Protest leaders allege dozens have been killed. Hundreds have reportedly been detained. There are allegations of curfews, communication restrictions, and road closures designed to suppress further demonstrations. And once again, Pakistan presents its own justification for these measures. But every crackdown appears to generate even more anger on the streets. During one of the largest protest gatherings, Sardar Aman Khan asked the crowd a simple but powerful question: should we move towards the line of control? The response came immediately: move towards it. The symbolism could hardly have been more striking. For generations, the line of control has represented separation, conflict, military confrontation. And now, for some protesters inside POK, it is being spoken about as a possible escape route, as a lifeline, as hope. And perhaps that is the most remarkable transformation of all. The crisis has now moved far beyond Pakistan's borders. Thousands of kilometers away in London, members of the Kashmiri diaspora gathered outside Pakistan's High Commission. They accused Pakistani authorities of using excessive force against civilians. They condemned reports of arrests, communication blackouts, and civilian deaths. Their message echoed the voices emerging from Rawalkot. The world, they argued, cannot continue looking away. Political analysts say these protests reveal a much deeper problem inside Pakistan occupied Kashmir. For decades, Islamabad has exercised tight political control over the territory through governments widely seen dependent on Pakistan's central establishment. Critics argue that genuine local political movements have steadily been marginalized, while the space for independent voices has narrowed year after year. Now, those suppressed frustrations appear to be spilling into the open. There is no longer only an economic crisis, it is becoming a crisis of legitimacy. And perhaps that explains why Sardar Aman Khan's appeal resonates so deeply with the people. Because when people begin asking another country for humanitarian assistance, they are also sending a message to their own that they no longer believe that their own government is capable or willing to protect them. Of course, India's official position on Pakistan occupied Kashmir has remained unchanged. New Delhi, however, continues to maintain that the territory is an integral part of India. But politically, these developments hand India something it has rarely possessed. Voices emerging from inside POK itself questioning Islamabad's governance. That carries enormous symbolic weight, especially at a time when Pakistan continues to raise Kashmir on international platforms. Or the conversation risks shifting in an uncomfortable direction. Not towards Kashmir under Indian administration, but towards conditions inside Pakistan administered Kashmir. That is a narrative Islamabad would much rather avoid. Because this is no longer about diplomatic speeches. It is about ordinary people claiming they cannot find food, that medicines are running out, that they fear bullets more than dialogue, and that their plea is no longer directed at Islamabad, but at New Delhi. Whether India responds in any form remains to be seen. Whether international organizations become involved is equally uncertain, and whether Pakistan changes course appears unlikely for now. But one thing is already very, very clear. The political landscape inside Pakistan occupied Kashmir is shifting drastically. The slogans have changed, the demands have changed, and now, perhaps for the first time in recent memory, the direction of hope has changed too. Not west towards Islamabad, but east across the line of control towards India. And that's all from my side. Thank you for watching Times Now Digital. This is Ria Girdhar.